Welcome into the weekly peel, shooting the breeze so you don't have to.
That's good.
Keep Josh's comment in there.
All right, welcome into another episode of the weekly peel. And honestly, we should really change the name because I don't think we've done a weekly episode in like months. So this is like the bi-monthly peel.
Yeah, that's better.
Semi-annual peel. Yes, it does. All right, well, today we have an awesome show, one I'm really, really excited for. I have some of my best friends in the whole wide world here with me. We have my good friends I went through. Peter's a regular on the show, but we have Smitty, who I've known since high school. Josh Smith. Josh, say hello.
Hello, everybody. This is great.
Hey, dude,
what
I'm
an
glad
honor.
you're coming on.
What an honor.
Dude, this
wow.
This is great to have you. You know, this is the pinnacle of the show right here.
I'm afraid I've peaked after being on the show. Like,
No. Really, in all seriousness, we've peaked with this. You're fine. And then we have the not so honorable. No, I'm just kidding. We have John Chevere. Chevere, how are you?
Hello, how's it going?
Fun fact: you were actually the original co-host of this podcast, and we never aired it.
Dang right.
We recorded 2 episodes, and
We're the 2-hit wonder.
And then of course we have the peanut to my butter, the the diet to my Dr. Pepper. Good old Peter.
Hello,
Peter,
hello.
how are you? You're a regular. You're on every. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, talk.
I'm doing great.
Good. So we're currently recording this on a Thursday night at 9:41 p.m. Peter, what time do you go to bed?
9:30.
No, wait. Really?
What the heck?
Yeah. Well,
One
this
day,
is big things.
You guys
This is a
will
big deal
understand.
for you.
It's a big deal. I don't know
Yeah,
what
no,
happens at this time of night anymore.
Yeah, I typically go to bed early. It depends if the kid keeps me up or not. But all right, so to start off the show this week, we're excited. We're gonna be talking about Star Wars, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. Really excited for that because we're all big Star Wars fans. And you know, one thing that happened recently since the last time we recorded this episode is Conan O'Brien. Many of you know. I actually don't know if you guys followed him, but I have been a big Conan fan. Like most of my life, I think probably starting in early high school, and he went off the air this week, a couple weeks ago, and that was very sad. So let's just take a moment of silence for the big guy. All right, that's enough.
Who is this?
You don't know who Conan O'Brien is?
Oh, man.
You don't know who Conan O'Brien is? You uncultured
I know
swine.
who he is.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
saying.
I'm just messing. Wow. All right. Well, that's enough of that.
Smitty's losing his mind.
who
Wait,
is
Josh. Josh, do you don't know who Conan O'Brien is?
No, I do.
Oh.
He has red hair, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Wait. Peter, you know who? No, I'm just kidding. We've been over this. All right. So another thing that we do is on this show, and this is my favorite part of the show, I think, is that we review Diet Dr. Peppers. So here we have, I have a can of here, like I always do, my typical weekly, bi-monthly can of Diet Dr. Pepper. And Peter, you've already done this, but we have Smitty and Chevere who are going to be trying out Diet Dr. Pepper. Have you guys ever had Diet Dr. Pepper?
Never.
No.
Never. Oh, so we have some, excuse me? Yeah, well, no, it's true. It's a very underrated soda. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys open it. You can get real close to the mic, get some nice ASMR stuff going here. And we're going to try these, and we're going to rate them out of 10.
Wait,
Oh,
my
gosh.
turn. My turn. Ready?
Okay.
How's that?
That was the
Oh, that was
I
good.
didn't hear
That was good.
anything.
I hope the mic picked it up.
Oh, man.
It was pretty weak.
right,
I hope this wasn't
gentlemen.
opened already.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, why
been
does
tampered-
this show
it's been
the
tampered
sugar
with.
content? Oh.
There's no sugar. It's Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
But does it have aspartame?
Yeah.
It does. It does. That's its only downfall.
Rip.
There's
right.
so much of a downfall.
All right, gentlemen. Let's take some swigs and see how we feel.
Do it for the peel.
Peter, this is the second time you've just watched.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, mine's warm. Gross.
Oh.
All right, guys. Let's start with Smitty. Smitty, what do you rate that out of 10 and why?
Not gonna lie. Is it called Dr. Pepper because it tastes like medicine?
That's amazing.
I don't know, man. maybe it's just because it's warm and it wasn't refrigerated. Maybe it needs to be cold and served with some ice.
Why is it warm?
Because I just bought it for this.
Where did you buy it? I mean,
A grocery store. It wasn't in a fridge.
Oh.
Was it Food Lion?
Yes, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Shout out
Food
Food
Lion
Lion.
is the
Please
worst thing.
refrigerate your sodas.
PSA. All right. So wait, what do you rate it out of 10?
Out of 10, it was a solid 6.
A solid 6. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. You know, this has kind of been working in the opposite direction. We've been getting lower and lower, and
I know.
This is
Started
no
out
good.
so high.
All right, Chevere, the connoisseur of all. Let's hear.
Yeah, so I had some. Like, I just tried some. That was garbage. that was terrible.
It was not that bad.
Bro, this is like a solid 3 on a good day. This is
3?
not good, bro.
Is it a good day?
Is it cold?
No. Actually, yeah, it is a good day. This is a good day.
Okay.
That's good.
Wow. So you give it a 3.
Yeah. Dude,
Wow.
I get this text from Maziot, and so he's like, man, you should get some Diet Dr. Pepper
No,
for
it was
this.
a command, first of all.
Oh, okay. And so I get this text, and I'm like, oh, shoot, like, I'm going to be late for this already. I haven't said anything.
Okay, hold on. First of all, I told you 3 times. And the last time I told you,
I have selective sight, okay?
was like 3 hours ago.
We are getting reimbursed for these, right?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
that was literally $2.
$2 you'll never get back.
No, I won't.
All right. Well, this is not going how I planned, but you know what? That was your review for the week, everybody.
What was
So
3
What?
3 and what?
6.
3 and 6.
3 and 6.
Usually it goes
Together
like
it's
3,
a
6, and
9.
9. Yeah,
Hey.
there you go. Oh, there we go.
6 is
Out of 20.
that's more good than bad.
Yeah.
Hold on. Did you say out of 20?
Yeah, because it's out of 10, so there was 2 out of 10, so that's a 20. If you add the 3 and the 6, that's
Semantics.
That's right.
Semantics.
He is right.
Wow. Logic. All right, gentlemen.
He just broke John's brain.
This is why we're all here. We are here. Oh, and I gotta. Oh, yeah. And if you guys might have to burp a little bit. That happens, and I'm having an attack right now. Hold on. Ugh. All right. This is such a bad idea. This might be the last week we do it. I don't know. All right. So we are all here to talk about one of our favorite things, something that we all talk about pretty much a lot. And that's I was gonna say all the time. We don't see
Wow.
each other all the time. It's 90% of our group chat, and I would say, and that is Star Wars, something we all deeply love. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So what we're wow, you guys
Very
are really Peter.
I was just having that burp attack.
I was gonna say
Oh, God.
Peter is checked out. He is asleep.
I taped my eyelids open.
Oh my gosh. So one thing that we all like to do is sometimes poop on some of the Star Wars we don't like and absolutely exalt the ones we do. So what we wanted to do is come on here and rate all the movies from worst to best.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
Because yeah.
Wow.
That's powerful.
That's powerful. So gentlemen, let's jump right into it. Who wants to go first?
I could take a guess of
Are we going-
who wants to.
What direction are we going?
We're going worst to best.
So we're all deciding on the number one worst, and then do we have to consensus each time?
No, we're just all talking about it, you know, like if we have
Okay,
anything
okay.
conflicting, and this is Star worst to best, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, there we
And
go.
Star Wars. What was I thinking? Well,
Mhm.
if we're starting out at worst, we got to start in the sequel trilogy.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I know that'll get the
Preach.
ball rolling.
Here.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, listen up.
Take notes.
Take notes.
8 and 9 are just not good movies.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All right,
honestly,
so-
Did you forget 7 there?
Hold on.
Dude,
Let the
Well-
man get to his worst pick.
so here's
We'll
my
go-
thing. So when I saw episode 9 in theaters, I had such low expectations that I came out of it thinking I was very pleased. I was like very
Oh,
okay
yeah.
with how it was. And then I went back and watched it a second time, and I started hearing some of the criticisms, and I'm like, okay, actually, yeah, I see some of the criticisms here. Just the more I thought about it, the more I watched it, the more it sucked. And then just okay, we're like 2 years removed from this movie coming out, or something like that, 1.5 years. And the more we just realized that there was no plan for this entire trilogy. Like, you had 3 completely different people. Well, you had dozens of people working on these things, but no one had like one clear direction throughout three movies. There's no like one storyline that like was begun or continued all the way through. Palpatine was just completely like thrown in there. So I don't know, like from a movie perspective, I don't think 9 is the worst, but I think it's just, I don't know, there's just something that doesn't sit right with me about it. They just like kind of like threw it together, you know, that kind of makes it seem like the worst to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you think Rise of Skywalker? All right. Let's have Smitty, then Chevere, then I'll go.
Yeah.
So Smitty, this is your time to publicly just demolish
Oh, man.
Lucasfilms. No.
First of all, thank you, George, for bringing this universe.
The goat.
But yes, I would say sequel trilogy is for sure gonna be down there for the worst movies. And between The Last Jedi and what was it, Rise of Skywalker? Man, what a dumb name too. They didn't even have like an actual Skywalker in it.
They came up with a name before the plot.
Right. I mean, I guess they did. They had Ben, but it wasn't even about him. It was about Rey, who isn't a Skywalker, and she just, I guess I'm gonna be a Skywalker now because I want to be. But episode 9, I felt like it was almost kind of like, all right, let's just land this plane because this is not going well. What really destroyed that trilogy, in my opinion, I think was The Last Jedi. The very first movie, I hope, The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Can't
The
remember
Force
the
Awakens.
The New Hope.
Yeah, A New Hope 2.0. No, like The Force Awakens. That, to me, there was promise in there. It felt like a very familiar story. It took a lot of inspiration from Episode 4, and I was okay with that. It was very safe, and it introduced new characters. And it was like, I left that theater feeling like, okay, there's some promise here. Some things I probably would have done differently, but like, there's some promise here. There's some really plots that it could follow, really cool ways it could go. I'm excited to see what these characters are going to do. I thought Finn being a stormtrooper, like that turned rebel, I thought that was a really cool idea. I thought he was going to be one of my favorite characters moving into this trilogy. And then, like, The Last Jedi comes, I sit down and watch it, and everything that you hoped for was crushed. Everything. Absolutely demolished. It derailed for me the entire trilogy. I was like, what is happening? They destroyed Luke Skywalker as a character in that movie. They tried to redeem him a little bit, but the damage was done. They couldn't do it in the 9th film. Episode 8 destroyed it. And not only that, but they killed off one of the most like iconic Star Wars characters, and they didn't even flinch. They didn't even make a like moment of it. Admiral Akbar gets destroyed, and they didn't even talk about it. It's like, oh yeah, he just died. He's been fighting since the Clone Wars. What the heck? But anyway, there's that. There's so much more. It was just So I could keep going, but I would just say, for my opinion, the worst of the worst was The Last Jedi.
Josh is such a martyr over Admiral Akbar.
I was just like, how could they? How could they? Why are we talking about this new commander? Like the woman.
You know what's crazy? You're the first person I've heard to
Although-
bring that up.
Dude,
I've literally
What?
nobody. I didn't even, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even remember that. That's how little like I didn't
Yeah,
like.
I don't know how they
Oh.
announced that it happened, but they were like, "Oh yeah, like that one
They
ship
didn't.
in the background you see get struck by lightning. That was
Yeah.
that was that ship, and they died."
Yeah,
Wow.
and I'm like, why are they focusing on these characters? Like
Yeah.
the new commander, like nobody cares about, and they just gloss over like over such an iconic character.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what that movie showed me, and what I think really broke my heart also was just the wasted potential. There was just such great potential in what Peter said, like that there was no plan. Like we all knew that watching these movies, but like even after actors have come out, like producers have come out, like even Ray, who played Ray, Daisy Ridley, she was like, they asked her, how'd you feel about the ending and stuff, and she was like, honestly, I had no idea what was happening. I'm like, even if your actors are like, I don't know what's happening, like I don't know why they would think the audience would receive that with like joy, and obviously they didn't, because they lost. I mean, there was a Star Wars movie that lost money. When in the history of ever did a Star Wars movie lose money?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you could say the sequel trilogy. It was there was promise, but it was a trap.
There was promise. There was hope.
Okay,
The Force awoke.
That was a reference. Never mind.
The Force awoke, man, and I was like, yo, I was like, I'm so excited. I went into it with such excitement because I love Star Wars, and it just got destroyed. It was over, and I was just like, okay, let's land this ship, please, quick.
All right, Chevere, what do you got for us?
So honestly, I have the exact same stance as Smitty. I just want to reiterate that although I don't think that any of 7, 8, or 9 are like great movies in the sense of being Star Wars movies, I mean they were still like good, like eye candy, by absolutely. But I'm looking back at 7, and there was so much promise. I'm looking at it, and the number one thing I wanted to see was Finn to utilize a lightsaber and still not be a Jedi. I would have loved to see that, because he was using it throughout the entire movie, right? So he's using it throughout the entire movie, and then all of a sudden it ate like, oh yeah, well, like there was a potential like, oh, maybe he's going to be a Jedi, maybe he's going to be Force sensitive, maybe he's going to be using it or something, and then it's completely scrapped, and then his story arc is completely destroyed in 8, and like Smitty was saying, 8 sucks.
It was so bad. It was so bad. So, do you have anything else to say, Chevere, or shall I go?
No, Smitty did a great job in explaining it.
Hey, thank you very much.
This has been years in the making of Josh, just all this pent up anger, and he's finally getting it out. So this is great. So
Thank you for the outlet. I appreciate it.
It's healing.
Yeah. Well,
this is
we
healing.
have a good thing going here, and not to ruin that, but I think the worst one is Empire Strikes Back. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Oh, what?
What?
No. Obviously, The Last Jedi. I mean, there is somebody. I forgot who it was. Somebody I know was actually like, yeah, that's one of my favorite ones because it was just so different. And I'm like, you're obviously not a Star Wars fan, and you obviously are the worst human being ever.
Oh my god.
No, but it really, like, it was so bad. I went in like, okay, so when it came to the Force Awakens, it was decent. It was very, like, there was enough nostalgia that it was pretty good, and I talked about it with my friend Danny on his podcast a little bit. We talked about sequels. He said, and I think he said it best. He said that if it would have went up from there, he would have been happy, which I agree with. I think we've kind of alluded to that here, but it didn't. It like, I guess Rian Johnson, who is actually an incredible filmmaker, he made Knives Out, and it was fantastic. But Rian Johnson wanted to what is it like was it subvert expectations or whatever. He completely destroyed expectations. Like, it just went too far. Like, I mean, he destroyed characters. Nothing made sense, and just he practically just I don't know how they allegedly there's another trilogy that he's making. He's making another 3 movies, which I don't know how, but that is absolutely a garbage movie, I think, in every sense of the word.
Hey, you don't make a great trilogy by destroying what you hate, but
by saving what you love.
Destroy what you love, baby.
But they did the opposite.
I don't know if you guys have seen those memes, but like it has that quote, and then it's like a version where the Empire wins, and they're like, "Sir, we won the war by destroying what we hate."
Amazing. All right, Peter. What's next up?
For me?
Yes.
I don't know.
We're back to you.
Am I always gonna be first?
Yeah.
So still from worst to best. I think we basically covered the whole sequel trilogy being kind of in the worst category. For me, I would say probably Attack of the Clones after that.
Wait, you're lumping them all together as the worst?
I am.
Yes.
They would be my bottom 3.
Okay. Is everyone in agreement with that?
Oh, well, how do you order it specifically?
Well, we might have an issue here.
For debate.
Yeah.
Because
I'm okay with The Last Jedi being the bottom.
Okay. Because I may or may not have put a movie that's not from that trilogy above, or well, like in my bottom 3, it's not the 3 from the sequel trilogy.
Oh wow.
Okay, so you go first.
So you like being wrong?
Yeah. I'm gonna. This is really tough to say, but and also let me just say it because I have Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. I loved Rise of Skywalker because I went in with such terrible expectations, and I was like, wow, that was really good. And then I went and I watched it finally like a few weeks ago, and I watched like 30 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. This is so bad. And then I'm gonna say. Oh, what were you gonna say? Something?
No, never mind. I'll wait for my turn.
Okay. I have it the third worst is Phantom Menace because I like parts of it. I love Darth Maul. I like that, but it's not enough to save the rest of the movie. The pod racing was just I'm sorry, George, but what were you thinking? Like the fact that it followed up. That was the first movie after the original trilogy, and that's what they came up with. I think Force Awakens slightly edges it out because it was safe. It wasn't anything too new. It wasn't anything, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too good. But Phantom Menace, it was rough.
Interesting.
The only thing that I think Force Awakens has going for it is some of like the groundwork that it was laying, but like knowing where it all goes, like there's still like almost nothing good about it.
And that's true.
Yep.
That's true.
It's almost like watching a building that was started but never finished, and you're like, that's sad.
You're like this first story is amazing, but then the next 2 are crap and it ruins the whole building. That was
Exactly.
deep, right?
Yeah.
That was powerful.
Yeah,
That was powerful, man. That was powerful.
That was big.
All right, so Peter, wait. Let's figure this out.
I'm talking too much. Somebody else go.
Wait. Okay, so we have everyone's in agreement with Last Jedi being the worst.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
All right. And then what's the second to worst?
Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
Okay, we're all in agreement. And then now this is where we differ a little bit. You guys have Force Awakens?
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Yes.
I did debate. Like I wasn't sure if I was gonna like which I was gonna go with, but I think Phantom Menace is slightly worse.
Dude, but like
Darth
just
Maul though.
I know.
That Duel of the Fates,
That literally
the
saves the
music.
entire movie, bro.
I know it's an amazing part. It really
Dude,
is.
Qui-Gon Jinn, bro. What?
Okay, you
true.
know what?
One of the
It is
greatest
hilarious.
Jedi
Isn't
ever.
it crazy that those characters like died in the first movie? Like they
Yeah.
were such amazing
Yeah.
characters.
All right, guys, you're winning me over. I don't know. It's really it's so close.
And,
I go back and
are
forth.
we taking these films with what we know from Clone Wars, like what Dave Filoni did?
Okay,
with
well,
You
Yeah,
have
it
to.
adds so
You
much
have to.
more.
It adds so much more.
but unfortunately, I didn't have cable as a kid, so I never got into it, and I've only seen certain episodes of Clone Wars.
So that's
I'm
why
not-
your list is messed up.
Yeah. I love Darth Maul. I know he's a big part, but I didn't get to experience it all.
Oh, dude, Disney Plus, my guy.
I know I tried. It's
it's
hard.
You have to, man.
Well, I'm still waiting on you to send me a list of all the good episodes.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
You just gotta just watch it all, dude. It's worth it.
No, I tried. I think I missed it.
There's a list on Disney Plus where they put all the important episodes in there. It's like
no.
Yeah.
Oh, this is life changing. I'm gonna be up all night.
That's cool.
All right, so what's up next?
Yeah, I would say Force Awakens would go next and worse, and then Phantom Menace.
Wait, are we including standalones?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I have them as a backup.
Like
we'll do standalones after.
That gets complicated.
Okay.
Yes. Or maybe we won't.
Maybe we just stay with the 9 with the saga.
Okay, because Peter wants to go to bed.
You see right through me.
Well, I would just say the number 4 on the list is Phantom Menace after The Force Awakens. Because you're right, you did bring up some good points. But dude, I was a kid when I watched that. And after I watch it as an adult, I'm like, I understand. So I'm curious to think what kids today think about these movies and what they will think when they're older. Like, are they going to look back to the sequel trilogy with like nostalgia and kind of like, oh, I love that as a kid, or not? But as an adult, I think I can watch it again, and I appreciate so much the prequel world that was created. And I can look over some of just because a lot of it was just more like awkwardness that was weird in the prequel trilogy, or just dialogue and certain things. But it was like you could still feel like that it was like George's, like Lucas's like world, and he loved it, and he was like creating what he had. And it's all interconnected. It's all woven together from the Phantom Menace all the way to climax of Revenge of the Sith. So it felt like it still had a direction and there was a vision behind it. You can kind of look over those parts and then celebrate like Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul and that duel of fates at the end. Even that idea that it was like a duel of fates, because like whoever died in that battle really was going to change the fate of Anakin in the long run.
That's amazing. That's that moment, or that like idea is amazing. Like, I love that.
Mm-hmm. And I heard that the last movie, episode 9, was actually originally supposed to be called Duel of the Fates.
Really?
And I read like this whole like leaked script of what it was supposed to be. And it just made episode 9 all that much worse after reading that script, because I was like, this is so amazing. This potentially could have saved the trilogy. Potentially. Maybe. The damage was pretty bad. But
did you guys see the tweet from like I think it might have been 20 like I don't know, like 11 or 12, that somebody was like the next Star Wars movie is going to be Rise of Skywalker, and like Palpatine's gonna return, and that was gonna be episode 7. Is that real?
I saw that tweet. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah. But
man, when they make those new movies, man, I just hope they don't do that.
Oh my gosh. No. Oh wait, but Josh brought up a really good point where he said like just like the world that they built. Like, I think as much as the movies themselves like have really bad moments, the world and like the field of the movies and everything like that's like I would say like the best version of Star Wars. Like, if I had to choose a time to be dropped into in the universe, like out of the 3 trilogies, it would definitely be the prequels.
Oh wow.
I agree.
Yeah, the feel. I mean, granted, it's not the best trilogy, but the feel of it is so good.
I get it. I can get behind.
Don't make this weird.
All right, so I have Force Awakens at this spot. Josh put Phantom Menace. Chevere, Peter, where are you guys at?
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
With who?
With Smitty.
Oh,
I think I might switch my thing actually. Smitty convinced me.
And just but it also, like, another thing with that, I think Phantom Menace was like, there's so many allusions to the ending of the original trilogy. so there was callbacks, and like the fact that like Palpatine came back and they had no plan and all these things, just knowing all that behind the scenes, I'm like, that ruins that world, that story, that first movie. Because I feel like you're just grieving while you're watching it, because of the potential. At least like while you watch Phantom Menace, you're like, all right, this is awkward. Some parts are like, all right, like that's kind of funky, but I know it gets really good.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know,
and I have a question, Josh, real quick.
Yeah.
Did you write down notes? Like,
yeah, I was
or were you
taking
just
notes
looking
over
down?
there.
You were like,
No, I have the movies written out.
Oh, okay,
I thought that was like a stack of notes.
You,
I was
it
like,
looked like you were
Notes of
reading
what we're
something. That's what I thought. I thought you were
Or later
actually, you're
rebuttal.
wrong.
So if you're taking notes, write this down.
All right. So you guys are in agreement? Is that what we're saying?
I'm in agreement with Smitty.
Peter, you cut out.
Mine is still Attack of the Clones, but I see what you're saying, but I'm sticking with Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
I have reasons.
I have
They're
Attack.
private. They're
So
private.
we won't be discussing that here.
Just have reasons.
All right, so I switched mine because Smitty convinced my heart, and and then I actually have Attack of the Clones next after Phantom Menace.
Yeah, me too.
I do too.
I think everyone thinks, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, you had Phantom Menace?
Peter,
so
why did you
flip-flopped on those two?
Yeah, why did you put Attack of the Clones before Phantom Menace?
So there was a lot of, as a kid I loved them. Like I loved them all, right? But there's just things now like in Attack of the Clones that I realized like were huge like missed opportunities. Like not that you can do like that much in the span of like a 2-hour movie, but by episode 3 you're supposed to have these two people, Anakin and Obi-Wan, that are like, they're brothers. And there's this like huge relationship, and you don't see any of it getting built. And you can say like, you see it in the Clone Wars, but by like Attack of the Clones, like they clearly have this like relationship, but they're not even in the same place for like 90% of the movie. Yeah. So that's like one thing is I think it like completely fails to show like any relationship growing there. And then the sand, just the sand.
I almost spit my water out.
Oh, that was rough.
So I just think there's a lot of, I don't know, just kind of like random things going on in that movie. I think there's some awesome things that go on. Like I love Jango Fett. I love the Battle of Geonosis, but overall, like,
did you guys ever play Lego Star Wars?
Yes, dude.
Battle of Geonosis.
My bread and butter.
Yeah.
So that's overall, like, I enjoy watching Phantom Menace more than Attack of the Clones.
That's cool.
Okay. I would say Attack of the Clones has its problems, but I think I enjoy it a little bit more because I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a little bit more action, and I like that, especially as a kid. So I watched it a little bit more, and I just liked it.
Yeah, I would say there was very awkward dialogue in this one as well. But Maz, I do agree with that. I think just because there was more action, there was less opportunity for awkwardness sometimes. And I just I really love in that movie just that whole seeing the whole plans taking place behind the scenes with the Separatists. It felt like there was something looming throughout the whole movie. Like there was something something was about to break. And again, that was the Clone Wars that was about to. And I really loved the whole mystery of the clones, where they came from. This what was the Jedi's name?
Sifo Dyas.
Sifo Dyas. Like that whole storyline. Like, who is this guy? Like, how did he get connected?
Yeah, I mean, they touched a little bit on it for the Clone Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
For the Netflix season.
Yeah, and I thought that was there was just a lot of mystery in that. but also like an eeriness because the Jedi don't know, and like the things that like Yoda was saying was like, they've sensed a great cloud of darkness, and that was when it started first alluding to Palpatine or to the Emperor or Senator at the time. They were kind of showing him in like dark shots and playing the audio of Palpatine in the background, and just like those soundtracks for me just made it feel like eerie. There's a mystery, like what's happening, like this is weird, a lot of like secrecy and manipulation, and then you get to the big finale of like the whole Colosseum and Geonosis, the aliens that are trying to kill him, and they're like dodging them. And I thought it was a great movie for even Padme. I think she like shined a lot in that movie.
Yeah. And it showed the greatest love story of all time. I mean, Oscar award winning.
No. that was the awkward parts. The awkward parts of like the romance in that movie was really felt really forced and really awkward.
One serious edge though that Attack of the Clones has is seeing Yoda fight.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
The
That was
Dooku battle
wild as a kid.
Yes.
Also, Count Dooku is so underrated.
I
He's
know.
so
yeah.
underrated. Oh,
I agree.
It's pretty OP.
You know, if you watch the Clone Wars, you know, the TV series, you see how awesome he is.
It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. That's funny. It's kind of sad we never get to see Mace Windu and Count Dooku fight.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That is true. That is very
missed
disappointing.
opportunity.
Just thought about that. Dang.
Yeah, rip.
R.I.P.
All right, so we have Attack of the Clones, and Peter has Phantom Menace in this spot, right?
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Next, we're getting down. We're getting down to the last couple ones, last four.
All right.
Do you guys have anything? You want me to say it?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I have a New Hope.
Sure.
Okay.
Chevere, what's going on? You're making some weird noises. Are you okay? Do you need medical attention?
You're striking a nerve, bro.
You're gonna reach through the screen and slap me.
What
do you want to talk about that nerve?
Do you want to talk about it?
Nah, man. I just want to hear your reasoning, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's amazing. But
Well,
I
cool.
happen to like, and actually, I really struggled with putting it in this spot or in the top 3. But I don't want to reveal my top 3 just yet. But I think with the ones that are left, I think this one, it's good, and it lays the groundwork for everything. It's amazing, but it's also like, I don't know, like I just like the other ones a little bit more. I don't really have a set reason. I think it is one of my favorites, and it easily could be in the top 3. But I think it just lacks a little bit of. I hate saying this about A New Hope because it's so great and it started it all. But I don't know. I like the other ones. I like where they went. I like the story that develops in the next 2 or in the rest of the series.
Okay, Chevere, what are your thoughts?
So, I am so fond of episode 4. I vividly remember it being my my very first. It's my very first Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Same.
And then on top of that, I can never forget the opening scene of that movie.
What is it? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, so they're in the ship and they're getting chased down, and so finally they get tractor beamed or whatever it's called to the Star Destroyer, and so they get there, and so all these people are inside the small little ship. It's these rebels, and they're all running down the thing, and they're getting ready. They're just yelling to each other like, "Get ready, get ready!" Like whatever comes to that door, like you got to stop it.
Oh, that's a good.
And so as soon as that happens, like they're getting ready, they're just standing there in just anticipation, and then all of a sudden, like they just hear like this. And all of a sudden, like these white troopers just start busting in and killing them all. And it's absolutely insane. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
What did you think of the scene in Rogue One where they kind of extended it out a little bit?
Are you talking about the Darth Vader scene?
Yes, like a little bit after that.
So that scene is by far the best scene in Star Wars movies. Really? That's my hot take. That's my hot take.
Okay,
wow.
That's my hot take.
I can get behind that. I don't want to. I see it. I don't know if I want to commit to it, but I see where you're going with that. I like because it like it's everything we imagined it would be.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So think about it. 4, 5, and 6 are great movies for their time.
Oh yeah.
You know, you look at them now; they're obviously dated. They came out
Yeah.
years ago. Man, when I'm looking at these movies, I always want to say, man, I wonder what it would look like to see Darth Vader in live action
Oh yeah.
today.
Yes.
And I got to see that in Rogue One during that scene.
So
Yes.
hard.
Just
Dude,
a
that was
glimpse,
crazy.
just a glimpse
And
of
also,
that.
and also, I think they are really dated, but we have to really just be thankful that George Lucas decided to update them and add music scenes, especially in the Return of the Jedi when the updated versions. I mean, come on, it really brought it up to speed. No. All right, so what do you have in this spot? Do you have A New Hope or no?
No, A New Hope
Okay.
is not in that spot. No.
Okay, what is in your fourth spot?
After all
Or
that.
fourth from the best, I guess.
It would be number 3.
Really?
No, what's in the fourth
He's got
spot?
the original 3 in the top 3 then.
Wow.
Yeah, the original 3 are my top 3.
Okay, so you have Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith is the last one for that series.
All right, what did you guys have in the fourth from the best?
Josh, you should go first.
Yeah, I actually have Return of the Jedi.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Boo.
I do. That's on my fourth. It's a great ending. I love the redemption arc. And I'll just say what my next one. My next one is gonna be A New Hope. It was between those two, but I like A New Hope more than Return of the Jedi because I think it is the beginning of the hero's journey. It is like you get to see him as a farm, boy who doesn't know where he comes from. All he knows is that all these this past and it's kind of cloudy, and just that whole there's something special like that. This was like the first of everything, and it kicked everything off. You meet all these iconic characters in it. And I think as a standalone film, just on its own, honestly, you could just watch that movie alone, and it's a great beginning and it has a great ending.
Yeah.
That's true. Wasn't it supposed to be standalone, like initially, but they made it with the intent of in case it doesn't get off the ground? Is that what it was?
Maybe I
think so.
I'm pretty sure.
But it just it was built, and it was such a great start of a universe. And on it as a movie on its own, it could stand alone, and it's a great movie by itself. Return of the Jedi, it's a great movie, because of everything that came before it.
Yeah.
And that's a great movie, even though Boba Fett gets wrecked
Destroyed.
right off the bat. R.I.P. But Mandalorian brought him back, baby. Let's go. I love that.
Yeah.
That was great. But I thought it was just we're getting at the top 4, and these are the ones that I just dearly love.
Yeah.
I love A New Hope just a little more than I love Return of the Jedi.
All right.
Well said.
That's good. Peter, where are you at?
So I'm kind of struggling with this, honestly, and my list is kind of whack as it is because I feel like it goes back and forth between I enjoy this movie more versus this is objectively a better movie, from a film standpoint or whatever. But
yeah.
So you're all gonna hate me for this probably, but in this number 4 spot, I have Empire Strikes Back.
Get out.
Wow.
Get out.
Get out of here.
What
So-
are you a Trekkie? Are you a Trekkie?
Whoa.
And so this goes back to when I was a kid and I was watching this for the first time. And even now, when I know there's amazing parts in that movie that are just such iconic and classic Star Wars moments. And I still love that movie. But when I think back to it, I think about everything that was slow about that movie for me as a kid. All the stuff where they were in the space slug, trying to get the Millennium Falcon like through the asteroid field, like Luke on Hoth, like just walking around in the snow. Even like some like Cloud City stuff I felt was like slow.
Okay, that's fair.
And now, like, I'm sure if I watched it, like, I haven't seen it in a while, but if I watched it now, like, I'm sure it goes much faster. But as a kid, I felt like that movie was like 3.5 hours long, and I still liked it a lot. But I was
That's
like,
true,
it
that's
just
true.
felt like it was really like struggling to like keep going. But seriously, like, I do love that movie. Incredible parts about it, but I know like that's where the list gets a little like weird for me because there's so much of like the stuff from when I was growing up and like the original feelings I had about it like mixed in. So
Yeah. Well, do you want me to tell you why you're wrong?
yeah.
no.
I'm with Maz on this
You
one.
know, this. Let me tell you. Well, you're not going to be in a second. Because
What?
I put it in its proper place where it deserves to be, and that's number 3. I just
What?
Put it,
Oh no! You can't do this to me.
okay.
What?
Here's why. Here's why. Hold on.
No, there's no justification, Mister. I don't watch the
Hold on,
animated
hold on,
series of
hold
Clone
on.
Wars.
I put it at 4. He put it at 4. I put it at 3. Okay, so I'm still better than him in your eyes. All right, you ready for this? This is why I put it at 3, and I think it was a little slow, Pete. I can fully get on board with that. There were moments like when I think of like a slow Star Wars movie, that's the first one comes to my mind. But think of the intro, like when they're on Hoth. That is absolutely fantastic. And the fact that I just found out more recently that like the reason they did all that was because of the accident that Mark Hamill got in, his face got all jacked up, so they wanted to give a reason to why his face got jacked up, which was just amazing. First of all, that they did that for him, and it turned out so iconic. And then, like, I mean, I Love You, I Know. That's in that one, correct? Yes. Yeah. I was questioning. Yeah. That, first of all, improvised, amazing. One of the, like, that Harrison Ford just responding to Princess Leia as I know, like, amazing. It was just such, like, I can't believe that was improvised. And then you get to the biggest plot twist literally in cinema history, where people were losing their absolute freaking minds that Darth Vader was Luke's father. I mean, literally, like that, like I didn't realize until like the older I got that had like such a huge, like that was the first like big twist in him. Like
there's
that was
nothing like
the
that.
biggest twist of the time. There's nothing like that. Like people were losing their absolute minds and just going crazy over that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's got to at least be. It has to be in the top 3 above A New Hope. That's why I put it in there. But there are
Fair.
slow parts that are much slower than New Hope.
Very fair.
All I heard was just the exact reasons why it should be number 1.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
literally
I was
the exact
thinking the
reason
same
why it
exact
should be
thing. I
number
was like,
1. Not
so you mean number
3.
1, right?
Are you kidding me?
No. Just wait.
No, your list is just degrading in my eyes. Next thing you know, you're gonna switch it up and be like, "Oh, hey, guess what? The Last Jedi, number 2."
And Solo is number 1.
Oh no.
All right, come on. Let's hear it, gentlemen.
I would just say that is this number 3 that we're talking about now?
Yes. Yeah. We're on number. Whoa. Yeah, we're on number 3.
Yeah.
Wait, did you
Okay.
do number 4? Yeah, you said.
I said Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I would say number 3 is A New Hope for me.
Okay.
Yeah, New Hope for the reasons that I shared earlier.
Okay. Yeah, you went pretty deep into that.
Yeah, I had for number 3, I had number 6.
Empire Strikes Back.
No, I had Return of the Jedi. That one, like, I enjoyed that movie, but I'm gonna take the same sentiment as Smitty. It was great. It was a great movie, but it was great and amazing because of 4 and 5. That's it. That's the justification. It's the justification. It is a great movie, don't get me wrong, but it is so much better on the basis of the foundation of which it was built upon.
That's powerful.
Wow. Come on, preach it. Okay. You have anything else you want to add? I mean, that was great.
No, I'm gonna just leave it there, bro.
Okay. Well, then let me say this. I think me and Peter, we have the same two movies in the same two. In the top two, but I don't know if they're in the same order. I think they might be.
Okay.
But let's why don't we have actually Chevere? Why don't you go back up and we'll go to Smitty, then we'll go to Peter.
Sure. Chevere.
So Chevere.
Oh shoot.
We lost.
I thought you were really thinking there.
No. I just had a stroke. I just didn't know it was my turn. So are you talking about number 2 right now?
Oh wait, guys, we forgot to rank the holiday special.
You want me to do number 2, right?
Yes, number 2.
Okay. So number 2 would be
And you can say number 1 too, because we know. By deduction.
New Hope is number 2, and Empire Strikes Back
Josh writing notes.
number 1.
I'm sorry.
Josh is over here writing a whole book.
Taking notes.
He's transcripting this whole thing.
Yes.
Sorry, Chev. Go for it.
No, you're good. So my number 2 spot would be A New Hope, and number 1 would be hands down Empire Strikes Back. 100%. 100%.
Because of the reasons I said it was number 3.
Yes,
Okay.
but now it's number 1.
Chevere, do you have any additional reasons why it's number 1, like other than like the Darth Vader thing that he went in
Besides
depth
the
about?
Darth Vader, I just think it's incredibly I think it was incredibly cool to see like a complete change of landscape.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's obviously like within like the context of when it came out, like it was the second movie, but we really haven't seen like characters like that since like the snowtroopers. We haven't really seen like cool armor looking like that since like the Clone Wars when that came out. You know, and so I thought it was super unique that they changed up the troopers. I thought it was unique that they changed up the landscape. I thought it was unique in adding Cloud City and more characters. You know,
Yeah.
Lando, amazing.
He's a good character.
Now, the crazy thing is, I never thought that movie was really slow. And so that also might just be me because I also really like the background and like the story building. So like, what is it? Like Lord of the Rings, for example, wasn't slow for me at all.
Wow, you're
At
crazy.
no point. Yeah. So like that is like great for me. I love like that
that's
slow
fair.
build
That's
up.
fair.
And so Empire Strikes Back hits that on the nail.
You're all about that crock pot plot.
Yeah.
Crock plot. All right.
We should just. So we're just finishing off our list now, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Smitty.
Josh.
Yeah. These are my 2 favorite Star Wars movies of all time, obviously. And it's very, very hard. They're very close to each other in my heart. But I would say number 2 for me is Revenge of the Sith, and number 1 is Empire Strikes Back.
Good.
Revenge of the Sith was just such a good ending to that trilogy. It just like, I felt like it just paid off in so many ways. As a kid, I was just like, it was like a movie where the bad guys won, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was like, oh shoot. And
That's
then
true. I've never thought of it like that though. But that is like accurate because it had hope in it at the end. But you're right, they lost.
Because you know who wins in the end, but.
Yeah, I've never read. Okay, this is gonna sound really dumb, but I've never actually thought of it like. I've never ever registered like. They literally won in that. movie.
Palpatine won, and like the thing that you thought your heroes were gonna stop, but I guess you had the eeriness, like you knew it wasn't gonna work out because the Empire was coming. But as a kid, like I was just watching, and you're just like, oh dang, like everybody's dead.
Yeah.
And you're just like, but it ends with Obi-Wan like in the desert with the classic, home from the very first movie. It was like it's such a great ending, and it was just such a great. Yeah, and then you see the aunt and uncle, with the baby looking off into the twin stars the twin stars suns, and and you're like, wow, it's like what Luke did in episode 4 when he's looking over and staring
Yeah.
at the sun, and it was just so good. The whole like no at the end, that was a little cringy. That was a little corny. You know, maybe they could have made it a little less. You know, there was still some cringe in there. There's still some moments you're just like, that's kind of awkward. Again, there was still that classic awkwardness.
No.
But dude, I loved General Grievous. I thought he was a great bad guy, especially if you know his like the Legends
Hello
story.
Oh yeah,
it makes General Grievous that much more of like, it's like, oh dang, this guy's a tank. They made him kind of dumb sometimes though, like when I thought he was, you know, because of the Legends, the books and other stuff, you're like, oh, this guy's like a boss. This guy's actually like crazy. Yeah. And his backstory is crazy, but you don't get it in the movie. You get it from books and stuff like that. But his backstory is absolutely wild. And just the whole transformation of Anakin going from light to dark, kind of gave it some more explanation. Like I will say I do agree, like with some people, that it felt very quick. That it happened very quick. It was like, oh shoot, okay, now he's killing like younglings. You're like, holy cow. You know, like it was like it went from 0 to 100 really fast.
He must live. It's like killing younglings like 5 minutes later.
But I mean, in his defense, like he was doing it for very like traumatic reasons,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But it is quick, and I also love how that is like in more recent years become like the biggest meme of Star Wars is about killing the younglings.
Well, it's like it was like true. And I was like, that was shocking. You're just like, whoa, yo, what? You know?
Watching it as a kid, you're just scarred for life.
Yeah, you're just like, holy cow, that happened quick, and you know, like, but again, it's like one of my favorite Star Wars movie, even with like that quick transition.
Mm-hmm.
But
and are you even including the Clone Wars? Because I feel like they did a much better job.
Oh yeah.
In showing how Anakin changed throughout that time, and how little steps and little actions that he did, kind of like started showing more and more of the dark side. Yeah,
the show, after watching that entire Clone Wars show, it makes episode 3 like 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like even the last like 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, like, and how it interwove, it explained why the clones did it. You know, as a kid, I was confused. I was like, yo, what? How could they do that? Like, it didn't make much sense. There's still some confusion with that. Because they're not like robots, but like why? And the Clone Wars literally makes that movie like 10 times better, and it just elevates it. But there were still some things that were like a little awkward about it.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because I loved it. I love that movie so much. But for me, I really think Empire Strikes Back it's like the perfect Star Wars movie. The characters, I actually didn't mind the dialogue. Because the action in it was like epic. It was like the Battle of Geonosis was for the prequels. Yeah. The Battle of Hoth was so epic, and just knowing that, like, how they pulled that off and the era that it was shot and filmed and everything pre-CGI was like, holy cow, like, this is insane.
Yeah. And
like the whole, like, the speeder, like, ships wrapping around the legs, and again, everything that you said, Maz, about like that plot twist that literally when you think of Star Wars, like a quote, what are the 2 quotes you think of? May the Force be with you, and Luke, I am your father. You know, like it's like it is iconic. And again, that's a movie where you finally kind of see the Empire as the threat that they actually are. You know, because again, it's another movie where you're like, oh shoot, the good guy is kind of lost in this one. You know, like Leia is enslaved. Han is what's it called? Frozen.
Carbonite.
Luke gets his hand chopped off. All the heroes that you fell in love with after going through, and I actually love that whole sequence in Dagobah, of him like meeting up with Yoda. You know, it's that classic hero's journey.
That's
and,
true.
You know, encountering a you know, like a creature in the woods. You know, it's like it's a very classic storytelling. And I think like just even the betrayal in Bespin and Cloud City, like I thought like that caught me off guard when he's talking to his buddy and they open the doors and all of a sudden you see Darth Vader there and he catches a freaking blaster shot. You know, they shoot at him and he stops it with his hand with the Force. I'm just like, what? I felt like it just showed you like how powerful Darth Vader really was.
Yeah.
Because in the first movie, you know, they had the awkward lightsaber fight and just stuff like that.
He was hardly in the first movie.
Yeah.
Right.
He was in it for like 16 minutes.
It's interesting because Josh, like these are amazing points, and on paper it sounds so good, but I just can't get over the slowness of this movie. I love it, but like
the what? The slowness.
The slowness.
Oh, dude, I just like. I get that.
I don't.
I get why you know one would think that it's slow, but I think it just raised the stakes. You know, it like because you're like, oh shoot, you know, Han and Leia now got this thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, like oh shoot, like Luke is
also
like
Luke and Leia have a thing.
Right. That was weird. That's true. But they didn't know. Wait, that was in that movie, right? Yeah. Yeah, it was. Okay. Because Leia was trying to make Han jealous and that whole thing.
With her brother.
But she didn't know. She didn't know. That was awkward when you find out in the next movie, you're like, oh, what?
I think she knew. Right? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because Luke tells her in episode 6.
Yeah.
I thought she knew though when he told her.
No, I don't think so. That was oh maybe I don't remember. I don't think she knew in that moment. I'll say that.
I trust you guys.
I don't think she knew in that moment.
Let's just hope not. Let's just hope not.
But like even that, you get to see the whole like bounty hunter like scene in that movie. Like it's just like different things like that just again like the universe was built, the Empire was shown as like a real threat. I mean they were in A New Hope because they could destroy planets. but in this movie you're like, oh, like they're smart too, you know, like they can beat these guys. Yeah. Seeing the whole relationship of, I mean, Luke just going through rigorous training to get better at the Force.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something I feel like that lacked in the sequel trilogy. It was just like, yo, what the heck? Like, like all these people can do these amazing
wow,
like
I
Force
didn't know
abilities.
That I could shoot lightning out of my hands.
Yeah, and it's just like, yo, what the heck? It took these iconic characters. Yeah, like years to master these things. And
she's like,
well,
I guess I can beat anybody in a lightsaber battle, even a trained freaking. Well, he's not a Sith, and he wasn't. He was a Jedi at one point.
Dark side user.
Dark side user.
So because of that, like I would say, Empire Strikes Back. It just like when I think Star Wars, I think of that movie.
I agree.
Okay. And when I think of that Star Wars, I think those moments. They're just such a, I don't know, it feels very special when you're watching it. Yeah. Like you're like watching something that's just like, wow, like this is epic. This changed, I think, cinema, changed like the game. Episode 3 was amazing, was awesome. Order 66 was like heart-wrenching. The Clone Wars show, but I feel like the Clone Wars show is what made it even that great. It was great already, but then the Clone Wars show, it's like what boosted it up. I made it like my second favorite movie of all Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I will say but it's also like one of the most action packed, and that's cool.
Yes, that's what I love. All right, Peter, bring us home.
My top 3 are in number
3.
Wait,
you didn't do 3?
No, I didn't, because you guys.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You stopped giving me crap about Empire.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
my number three,
Rightfully so.
my number 3 was Revenge of the Sith, and number 2 is A New Hope, and I have Return of the Jedi as my number 1.
Oh.
No,
Wow, I know you
what?
Remember that joke?
No.
Wow.
He's not gonna be happy about this. But like, ever since I was a kid, like I loved that movie, and I just saw it as like the perfect conclusion. Like, it's so awesome, like seeing Luke in his like almost his final form, like as a fully realized Jedi, like having to make that decision at the end, to like give up, his life as opposed to turn to the dark side, and then just the final scene, like them all like celebrating, and they're like in the Ewok village, and he goes over and sees like the 3 ghosts.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And like those were moments that just like stuck with me all throughout childhood. And so I still to this day think of Return of the Jedi as my favorite.
Respect.
Wow.
Respect.
Just say that you like the Ewoks the most already.
I know.
Did you guys
I
ever
already
watch?
know
Did you guys
do.
ever
Captain
watch the
Rex is in
Ewok movie?
episode 6, so.
Oh. Did you guys ever watch the Ewok movies?
No.
You
They're
just totally
so
ignored me.
Sorry.
Go on.
Hey, so
go
moving on.
No. So I thought you already said that. I thought you were down to your final 2, and I thought we were gonna have the same Peter, but you betrayed me. We were brothers. Come on.
That's what it's all about.
You were my brother, Peter.
I hate you.
That was
All
good.
right. Well.
Oh, I hate you.
Well, me and Josh have the exact same number 2, and that's Revenge of the Sith, because it's absolutely amazing. It is so okay. I get it. There is some absolute garbage dialogue, and like, is it Hayden Christensen? Like, I don't know. I heard it made a case of like why he was acting like that, and it was like, okay, I get that, but it was still really just not good. But outside of that, I don't see a flaw with the movie. Outside of like some of the way he delivers the lines, I don't see a flaw in the movie. I think it is like the perfect bridge. Well, first of all, it's a perfect close of that trilogy, but then it's also like a perfect bridge into like the next trilogy, the original trilogy, and plus the action and just the end scenes, like when they're fighting. I have the high ground. I mean, just there's just so many good things, and I mean, even if you go back to like not even just the end of the movie, but you have General Grievous, like we talked about. You have the opening sequence when Anakin kills Dooku. You have just so many amazing parts of this movie that it was like, it was the best one by far in the trilogy, and it's my second favorite overall. I think especially because it has a place in my heart. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved it. It's mainly just because of the action when I was a kid, and then I appreciated more of it when I got older. But I just think it is near perfect. It is so good. And I will say my number 1, Peter, let's go, Return of the Jedi.
Let's
Chevere.
go.
Take it,
Come
Chevere.
on,
Take that,
somebody.
Chevere.
Nah, I got Smitty for number 1, bro.
Because okay, and again, the only wrong thing about the movie, and it's not even that wrong, it's just kind of weird, is the Ewoks. They're not that bad in the movie. They're not that good either.
They're what makes that movie.
Dude,
Campy.
it is campy, but they're so endearing.
They are. They just don't make any sense. You just watch it and you're like, oh, they were just trying to make money.
Yeah, we gotta sell some toys, so let's put these in here.
But they actually had utility. It wasn't like the stuff that they threw in the new sequels where they're just like they're there and they don't do anything, and they're there to be toys,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think again it was perfect. You have like this moment where it's almost like oh my gosh, Luke could turn to the dark side.
Yeah.
And then you have that moment of redemption for Darth Vader. And just the way he just flings Palpatine over the side. I love that.
There's no more satisfying moment.
There's not.
Dude, okay, so like as a fan of Return of the Jedi in that moment, what did Rise of the Skywalker do to you when you found out Palpatine didn't die?
Okay. Okay.
Like,
all right, let me explain this. I got and don't hate me for this, but when the trailer first dropped, my first reaction when I heard the laugh, I was like, "Oh yes." Like this is good. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, and then I was like, wait a minute, I just got caught up in the moment. But it's absolute garbage because it's like you just destroyed like Darth Vader's whole like Like,
Story arc.
And the biggest, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Oh my gosh. When Rey is like in freaking space and she's just hearing all the Jedi talk to her and he's like, brings balance to the Force as I once did, I almost walked out of the theater. I was like, no, like it was supposed to be like, that's the balance of the Force. Yes, for all time, end of story. And now all of a sudden you cheapened it by saying Rey can just do that, like out of nowhere. Although, and I don't like it, but I do like at all that he was back, Palpatine. But I do appreciate that at least it was a clone. They confirmed that, because then it's like, okay, well at least Darth Vader did kill him. Like that's kind of okay. but
still,
then
it was just no. Go ahead.
But then also they do a lot of those things, like they see what kind of backlash there is, and then they just come out with these things to go, oh, let's try to fix it, which is like kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like a movie series that, like, you know, they make a movie and then they have like a bunch of these plot holes, and so the next movie that they make is to address those plot holes, and now there's a bunch of new ones.
Yep.
And then they just come out with books and they go and explain it all away.
It's in the books.
So.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, my main thought is just when I see Palpatine in Episode 9 is just like, what is the point? You know?
Yeah.
Like you're breaking more than you're taking away more than you're adding.
Yeah.
Well, granted, I couldn't remember if it was Legends or if it was actually canon before like the movies, but Palpatine was technically still alive in fragments for like 20 years.
Yeah.
In like remnants. And so that was actually a thing.
Okay.
So I don't think in of itself Palpatine being still alive is the issue. I think the way in which it was done and the way that they cheapened Anakin / Vader, and the finality of like how important he was to bringing balance is the issue. Not that Palpatine's bad.
And also, can we just like what in the stinking world were they thinking when they had this scene of just space and all the voices? Why didn't they do Force Ghosts? You literally had an opportunity to have.
Do what?
You already have Force Ghosts. Like Jedis can become Force Ghosts. So you could take all those voices and make them the Force Ghosts. Like, why did they just use their voices?
So much cooler.
I know.
Oh, so much cooler.
And this is the thing. It could, like you said, Josh, this movie could have been amazing. Like, do you know that they brought George Lucas in to actually direct like multiple scenes, and they did like a deep dive into Luke Skywalker with like improv scenes with Mark Hamill, directed by George Lucas, like over 20 minutes of stuff that Disney literally just threw in the garbage. Like, don't even get me started. It might be worse.
Yeah.
No.
That's why people have been saying it. Something I've just been hearing about, like the JJ cut, like trying to like release.
Oh, please.
But I don't know if that's actually a thing or not.
I
But
don't know.
But dude, some of the scripts that I read that like could have been, like it would have made Rey such a great character. Like I really would have, like, again, her and Kylo Ren and Finn at the beginning of the first movie, I was like, yo, okay, like I really like them. Finn's story looks like it's gonna be really interesting. This Poe character, he kind of seems like a Han Solo type. But like, hey, like that's okay. Like I think that's important to have that type of character. And then Kylo Ren with this whole thing, the inner struggle with his dad, but then like the fact that he would kill his dad, like
that was so good.
It was like really sad, but it was very like, oh shoot, like right off the bat they're gonna do something crazy like that, like
because you could take him seriously. Yeah,
it was like, oh, this is gonna be pretty serious, like trilogy. And then episode 8 starts and it's like making jokes right off the bat, and it just felt so campy, and you're like, wait, this doesn't feel serious. But like and even Rey, like at the first movie, like not knowing who she is, what's going on, could she be Obi-Wan's daughter? Maybe she has a connection. Darth Jar Jar.
And man, that would have been better.
You know, like you had all these questions about her, and even like you get to see her, she's a pretty like she was a very noble like character, like there was like good in her, and and like even her, I was just kind of. I mean, I thought it was weird that she was just good at everything with no training. That was something that I was like, oh, like okay.
Even in the context of Luke supposing, like, he's supposed to be the like most powerful Jedi ever.
Right.
Again, cheapening it.
Yeah, they cheat, and again they cheapen Luke, they cheapen Anakin, like it's
Darth Vader, everything.
Yeah.
It kind of like but even those movies, I was like, okay, like they have promise, and it just was handled so terribly.
Yeah. Well, guys, and just the last thing to say, I think Return of the Jedi, just the ending was so good, like Peter already hit on. But guys, this was great. I love talking about Star Wars with you all. And I'm just going to tell one quick story because I had to do it, and I was going to bring it up earlier and I forgot. When we all went to see The Force Awakens together.
Oh man.
And we went off the grid because we went a few days late. And I don't know if you guys were as serious as I was, but I like literally did not go on the internet at all. Like I was completely off the internet. I think we went 2 days late. And we went, and I was so excited. I had just watched all the movies to catch up. I was so excited for The Force Awakens. I was staying away from all the spoilers, and I stand in line. I mean, there's people still dressed up. Like, I don't know if you remember that there was one guy dressed up like as like a Jedi. Actually, we knew him.
At our small theater.
At our small theater. 2 days later. and like, literally, we're standing in line, and our friend Drake, who came with us, he goes, guys, what if I yell out Han dies? And it felt like my entire world just collapsed because I was like, dude, like, is this a spoiler? And I just remember, I think it was you, Josh, being like, no, it's not. We're in the movie, and all of a sudden, it happens, and I was just like, I looked over, and I was like, I'm done.
You missed the part that he actually did yell it out in the line.
Yeah. The funny part was he had no idea that it was true.
Yeah, he was just guessing.
Oh my gosh.
So innocent.
But he was right.
I had a spoiler by someone in one of my classes in 11th grade, and he just yelled out that Han Solo died, and everyone in the class just started yelling at him, getting like they got mad because it was like 2 or 3 days before like the actual premiere, and he just like yelled it out. I was like, bro.
Yeah, it's upset now. Actually, when I went to see both Infinity War and Endgame, I wear headphones until I sit down in my seat after that. And yeah, so guys, thank you so much for coming on. And this has been absolutely wonderful. Peter wants to go to bed. I actually want to go to bed. And thank you guys for staying up and talking about this stuff, and Chevere for getting mad at me. And yeah, next week we're gonna have Kathleen Kennedy on to rank them as well. No.
7, 8, 9.
Yeah, no, guys, thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure. And we will see you next week on the Weekly Peel.